So just on the website, membership, and you have all the details. And you can.
The PRC try its best to set up the artificial island in the southern part of the South China Sea. And recently, they not only set up this kind of artificial island, but also try to weaponize this island. And this unilateral military projection has been regarded as the potential threat or even the existing threat to the stability and peace of this region.
Nice. That's very beautiful. Oh, yes, send me please.
I don't know, because I don't think she's on Google. Just
The issue, but if you look at the countries such as Cambodia and Laos, they are very friendly, China-friendly countries. They are pro-China.
I think they aren't really getting any results. This is one of the most prolonged disputes. China isn't really negotiating, and we saw how declaration of conduct took at least a decade to be signed, and now the Southeast Asian countries are also trying to sign code of conduct with China in the South China Sea, but that's also going to be non-binding, but at least it will have some implications for China and the South China Sea. So I think that's also a very important reason why ASEAN went for something like that. And if you look at countries such as Vietnam and now even Philippines, we have seen how under Duterte, Philippines was inching closer towards China, but now that's also changing. And especially Vietnam has been trying to internationalize the issue of the South China Sea for a very, very long time. So I think it's a part of their endeavors to internationalize the issue of South China Sea, to make countries, especially in the West, and countries such as Japan and India, to talk more about the issue of South China Sea. So when we talk about the results about this meeting, I don't think we can expect much, but at least it happened, and I would say that that was a landmark event.
The Philippines, the Vietnam, as well as other neighboring ASEAN countries, they also enjoy high volume of trade and investment from China, from China. And for sure, they think the sovereignty issue prioritized in their national interest priorities. But they will probably face the challenge or threat imposed by Chinese government if they are not willing to, to give in their territorial right.
Then Southeast Asia, like you look at the example of Lithuania, China is going for economic coercion with respect. There are also two reasons from their perspective. First, I believe that
ASEAN is divided on the issue of China and also on the South China Sea, while countries such as Vietnam and the Philippines are trying to internationalize the issue. But if you look at the countries such as Cambodia and Laos, they are very friendly, China-friendly countries. They are pro-China. And also, if you compare China's approach and China's response to the Europe and to Southeast Asia, for example, you would see China is more is responding in a very confrontational way in Europe than Southeast Asia. Like you look at the example of Lithuania. China is going for economic coercion with respect to Lithuania, but China is not going to do the same with Southeast Asian countries. First of all, they are regional countries, and China is the largest trading partner of ASEAN. So we have to take all these things into consideration as well when we talk about China's response.
In the past several years, China has blocked exports from Vietnam and the Philippines when it wants to show that it's angry with these countries. I don't know as much about its behavior with the Europeans, but the fact that the UK and others rely closely on China's economy, I think there are many possible levers that China could apply to signal its displeasure. China's also made it very clear that it sees the UK's increasing naval presence in the region, engaging in naval operations, carrier strike group visits to the South China Sea, along with the US and other countries as an object of great concern and said that they won't allow it, which again is impinging on freedom of navigation in international waters which don't belong to China.
Yes, I think it is right. It is true that if we only focus on the zone to stabilize the regional stability. However, from my perspective, I think
if you look at what PRC did during the past decade, their strategy to their rivalry is to divide and conquer. So, with their neighboring country, with their strategy to ASEAN country, they try to impose the divide and conquer strategy to ASEAN countries, so that while the ASEAN organization, ASEAN secretary or ASEAN members insist their the so-called ASEAN centrality and consolidarity as the main concern for to unite the regional bloc. And I think Taiwan will not. We are clearly aware of the divide and conquer strategy, and we will definitely not follow this kind of threatening strategy.
I think it's just the starting point of a broader conversation that the G7 and ASEAN are starting to come more closely together. And this reflects the larger trend in international relations of minilateralism and multilateralism, especially in reaction to some of the instability that the Trump administration in Washington caused around the world, where you saw European allies and ASEAN countries really start to step up and express their own perspectives, especially on the Indo-Pacific and security challenges. Everybody now has an outlook on the Indo-Pacific, essentially. But the G7 is now chaired by Germany this year, which has a new government. So it's not really clear to me that there's a really clear vision in Germany regarding China, or really its foreign policy yet. So I'm interested to see if momentum continues to build on this latest G7 meeting with ASEAN in the UK. If that goes forward, I think that would be probably an encouraging trend to see closer alignment between G7 countries, which includes Japan, a major player in the Indo-Pacific, major investor and trading partner of these countries in ASEAN,